Oh, what's up, everybody? Should be loading up here, and looks like we are live. So, if you can hear me all right, go ahead and drop a message in the chat so I know who's here. And we're just doing another Q&A live stream tonight. So, any questions that you have, feel free to drop those in the chat, and I'll be sure to get those answered and help you out the best I can. I'm also going to be trying to go live on Instagram as well. Well, I'm not going to try it. I'm going to do it. It's just my first time doing it. So we'll see how it goes. What's up, Kick Central? Thanks for stopping by. Trying to figure out this Instagram live thing. How you doing tonight, Kick Central? This is interesting. I've never done Instagram live before. Let me do a practice run. Looks like we got a few people watching on YouTube, so go ahead and drop a message. Let me know who's here. Awesome, 1K on products. That's great. What is your goal? I'm curious. Did you hit your goal today? Was that a big day for you? A light day? All right, I think I'm set on Instagram, so I'm about to go live on there too. This is interesting. All right. See how this goes. My goal is usually 5 to 650, but this past week I've been spending 1K a day, trying to ramp things up. Awesome. That is what it all boils down to. I always tell people if you want to grow on Amazon, obviously all you need to do is spend more money on inventory. So super cool that you are really doubling your daily spend goal lately. Keep it up. Curious, like what has let you been able to double? Are you just finding more leads? Are you doing in store or finding a lot more stuff online? What's up, people on Instagram? We are live over on YouTube. If you want to join there, I'm just doing some Q&A tonight. So feel free to join on YouTube or just drop some messages here on Instagram and I'll kind of go back and forth. Yeah, Oscar on Instagram said spending is all it is. 100%. That's what it all boils down to. Once you got your prep and everything, all your systems built, all you got to do is spend more money in inventory, and that's how you're going to grow and be more successful on Amazon. Sweet. So more leads, looking at variations, reverse sourcing, and just going deeper essentially. Right on. Yeah. I feel like variations are slept on a lot, like especially people who use leads lists. Let's say like in my leads list, for example, we tell you a size 9 black shoe is profitable. Why not look at the size 10 black or the size 10 white? There's so many different variations that can be profitable too. And a lot of times people just sleep on those. And reverse sourcing is huge too. What's up, Team Runner for Life, Saloon 12, Dom, what's up? Deskovich 313, how's it going? Hey, thanks, Dom, appreciate it. How far are you planning to scale Oscar Ass on Instagram? So right now, I really just want to get up to like 300K a month or so, and then try to increase my profitability from there. And I'm almost there. I would say like within the next 1 to 2 months, I'll be there, and then just trying to increase my profitability. And then I want to start building out other things. If I ever want to get to the point where I'm building, or where I want to get back and build my Amazon business more, then I'll probably go and talk to you actually, so that I can learn more about wholesale. But for now, I'm able to get most of my business is OA, and I'll be able to get to that 300K a month point. Kick Central on YouTube says, "What is your daily spend goal?" So my team right now is targeting a spend of 7,500 a day, and really we're looking at it kind of as a weekly average of around $38,000. So some days we might only spend 5, the next we might spend 10. I'm not too worried as long as we're consistently hitting 35 to 40K a week. And the reason we do that is because my cost of goods is roughly 50%. So if I spend 7,500 a day times 2, since I'm, 50% cost of goods, and then I'm buying 20 times a month, 20 days since we shop Monday through Friday, that should yield roughly $300,000 in revenue. And then my profit margin is like 10 to 12% right now. I'm trying to get that up to like 14 to 15. What's up? Billy Flips, FBA Nick, Jimmy FBA, Sarah's FBA. How's it going? Juskovich 313 said, any way to get funding other than credit cards? Yeah, there are tons of options. So credit cards are obviously some that are really popular. I recommend the Plum card if you're starting to get into business credit, and then the Platinum and Gold from Amex as well. And we really like the Capital One Spark. But if you don't want to use credit cards for whatever reason for funding, you can get loans from Amazon. You can get a line of credit from your local bank. A method that I've used in the past is you can borrow money from friends or family if you want, and then give them just a set return or however you want to structure it. But there's tons of different options. There's people all around that are willing to invest money if you have a sound and profitable business that you can guarantee them a return. What's up, Billy? Yeah, 30K profit a month. That's a goal. I'm almost there. So last month I did 248K, and I'm trying to get up to around 300. Aiden Castillo, what's up on YouTube? I just got my first business credit card today. I've sourced over 400 used books. Sweet to start, but I'm ready to start spending money online. Would you suggest I place an order to get on Nike, to get ungated in Nike? Or just start placing test orders and not worry about ungating yet? So you definitely should get ungated before you place the test orders, if that's what you're asking me. If you're saying like, should I place test orders on Nike before I'm ungated in Nike? Then my answer is no. You should absolutely get ungated first. But if you meant something else, just clarify that in the chat, and I'll answer it in another way. Kevin R, what's up? After I pay off my first Amazon 2K loan, do you think Amazon will quickly offer me another one? So it varies. Generally, if you're growing your business, then they're gonna offer you another loan. In my experience, they offer a refi before you pay it off, though. So let's say it's like a 6-month loan or a 9-month loan, whatever it is. Then generally, what I've seen is about halfway through, they'll offer you a refi. So your original loan was 2K. Let's say once you get down to you've paid half of that back, they might offer you like a 10K refinance loan. And generally, they're going to be doing that as long as you're making those payments and growing your business. Joji Davenport, what is up? How's it going? Joel on Instagram, what's up? How's it going? Chris, outsource everything program awaiting. Yeah, so I don't know if you're not in the private Discord for that and you signed up, send me a DM so I can get you in there. But I announced a few days ago, earlier this week, the program basically will drop on January 30th, and then we're going to be doing live calls focused on a few modules each throughout February. That way we can dive deeper into the modules and answer your questions. And then I'm also going to be doing group Zoom calls for the rest of the year, once a month after February. Billy says, how many VAs do you have? We just hired 4 more, so I'm up to 12 now. And I split the team with another Amazon seller. So we're basically just pooling our resources together, and we share the leads and the systems that all the 12 VAs accumulate. So like most of the team does product research, but some of them just do like reviewing, for example. So we're pooling our resources together and splitting the leads and the reviewing process. Amazon paid for it. What's up? Halfway through, but once you get a larger one, you will get close to the last month before you pay it. D Cartier, what are we talking about? Amazon FBA, any questions you have? What's up, Kevin? Chris, I'm in there. Can't wait. Awesome. That answers your question, Aiden. Sweet. Oscar says, "What do you even do in your business at this point?" So, I mean, honestly, the only few things that I do consistently are every morning I answer emails and Discord messages from my team or any other issue that would come up. And that usually takes like 10 to 20 minutes. And then throughout the day, I've been just glancing at our FBA sales, seeing if anything is selling really rapidly, and then putting in a replen order. But I just got my manager started doing that today, so that'll be outsourced here in a few weeks after she's accustomed to that. And then really the only other thing that I do is if wholesale opportunities come in, I'm the one looking at those just because like, I don't want to hand over spending like 10, 20, $30,000 right now. So I'm still looking at those and I'll probably continue to do it just because it doesn't take that much time. And it's just like I get an email alert or a WhatsApp and then I go in, glance at the data and make a decision. It doesn't take a ton of time and it's a pretty big decision. So I think I'm going to be the one making those wholesale decisions for now. Kevin says, "Do you have any issues with VAs quitting or turnover?" I've had, I believe, just one or two quit since I started hiring. So it's not a big issue. We don't have a bad turnover. If we do lose an employee, usually it's because they didn't make their 30-day probation period. But I would say we have a pretty high success rate even with that, probably 80%, 80 to 90%. Most of them make it through their probation period. So if any of them end up not making it, it's usually our decision and not them quitting. So yeah, we don't have a bad turnover, and we've had a couple quit, but not many. Kind of new here. What's your game, OA or wholesale? So I'm almost all online arbitrage. I do a bit of wholesale as well. I would say I'm 85-ish% OA. I always tell people somewhere between like 80 and 90. I don't have a hard number, but it's somewhere in there. And then the rest is wholesale. So I'm mostly online arbitrage. All right. Got a few messages on Instagram. How many income streams do you have currently? It depends how you look at it. So generally two. So I have Amazon, the main Amazon business, but then like my other, avenues that go into that, like my leads list, coaching calls. So I have one, I would say it's just one stream that's in the Amazon realm. And then I have another business that we started back in October called Alpha Candles. If anyone wants to check it out, we're actually going to be launching on Amazon probably in a month or so. We're just waiting on some new supplies to come in and then we'll be on Amazon. So I'm building that other business. So technically I have two right now. Yeah, the program, T Carter, is all about outsourcing. It's just teaching you how to build a business that runs itself and showing you the exact systems that I've built in or the exact systems that I use in my own business. Yeah, those restock limits are changing though. We just got that email. I'm curious to see more about what that's going to look like. But apparently, they're going to be getting rid of restock limits, I guess, and going to more like a capacity thing. I didn't fully understand it, but I know you can't reveal too much, but as much as you can, your best sourcing method for slow months. So I mean, we're doing the same methods all year round, regardless of when it is, and it just boils down to storefront stocking and manually going through website sales. So we don't really change up our sourcing strategies. We just might be finding different items throughout the year. Yeah, exactly what Oscar just said. Kevin just said, "Can you say your hourly rate for your VAs?" Um, So they're all paid salary and, it widely varies. I don't want to say it here just because it varies based on how long they've been with us and things like that. But we can talk about that more in my program. And I mean, honestly, just go to onlinejobs.ph and you'll see kind of what the average people are paying. You should be able to see the job postings for free on there and you'll see exactly kind of the range that people are paying for the VAs. What are your thoughts on glass items for FBA? So we rarely sell them. If we do, it needs to have a much higher profit. Our general profit minimum is 425. I think for glass, we want to see like $9 or 850. It's somewhere around there. So double roughly if we can make double the profit. Yeah, no problem, Joel. What other questions do we have? That's a good question, Shayla. So the 425 does not include our prep. I will say it's roughly $3 or so post prep fees. And yeah, that's a really important indication. So I'm glad that you asked that. That's really the only thing that we leave out, and we have a higher budgeted inbound shipping rate than is actually necessary. I would say we end up paying 20 to 25 cents on average, and we budget 40 cents. So that $3 minimum post prep fee might end up being more like 3.15 or so. Yo, what's up, Cisco? How's it going? Kevin says, "Have you seen the video profiling the Amazon Rivian delivery vans? Pretty sick." I have not. I'm not sure what video you're talking about. I have to look that up though. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll look into this later. That looks neat. Right. Joji says, "What's your best advice for preventing potential IP claims besides IP alert? Making sure the brand seller isn't on the listing and avoiding listings with large drops in new offer count." Yeah. So we have IP alert, but it's never something that tells us to just straight up avoid a product. What IP alert is for us is it's a reason to dig deeper into the Keepa data. So if IP alert comes up, it's flashing red, it's telling us there's an issue, then we're just expanding. We're going a year out, maybe even a little bit more, and seeing if there's any giant drops in sellers. And then if there are, we're generally going to avoid that product. Also, I'll look at several listings for that brand if I have reason to think that there's going to be IP issues instead of just that one. But yeah, that's really it. Just avoiding those listings that have large drops in offer count. And the brand seller being on the listing is a little bit situational. Like if they've always been on the listing and there's no sign of IP and we can still profitably sell it. Personally, I'm okay with it, but that's just again up to your risk tolerance. If you wanted to play more on the safer side, then I would just as a whole avoid any listings that has the brand over on it. Cisco, what's for dinner? You got Popeyes. Let's go. I got made some fish, rice, and broccoli. Did not go out tonight. What's up, Phil? John Workless, what's up? I've been seeing glasses where it's at. Interesting. A lot less competition. Been doing that as a hobby. LOL. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense that there's less competition. I don't like I said, we just want like a higher profit minimum in case the items are gonna break. But I think you're the one doing all your prep, so you could, be really particular about it. Kevin says, "Are you mostly removed from your business accounting? Somebody does it." Yeah, I don't do it. So like I have a guy who does my bookkeeping, and the only thing that I would have to do is like he's unsure what a transaction is. But most of our stuff is repeating, so there's not really much questions. But he enters transactions once a week, and he might just have a couple that he's unsure of, and I'll just have to tell him what those are. And that goes back to like every morning I answer my messages and make sure that my team has everything that they need. And yeah, we're just using Inventory Lab. I'm thinking about getting something else this year just to be more, more on top of it. I'm looking at maybe QuickBooks, something like that. Saul says, "Do you reinvest all your profit or are you spending it on a Lambo?" LOL. No Lambo for me. I actually told a couple of my friends, we have a group chat on Instagram, that I'm not gonna buy a really nice car until I have $1 million net worth. So I've got a ways to go until I'm gonna be getting that Lambo, and I probably would not even get a Lambo with that. That'd be ridiculous to have like half your net worth. But yeah, I'm pretty much just reinvesting everything, whether it's in Amazon or in other endeavors. I'm gonna start taking out more money from the Amazon business now that it's almost where I want to be, and then I'm gonna be using those profits and reinvesting them elsewhere. Do you give any notice to the IP alerts SellerAmp gives? No, I don't. I think some members on my team will glance at that and then they'll start to look at the other data. I never really have been accustomed to using SellerAmp for any kind of like profitability or sales velocity or anything like that. I'm old school and I use RevSeller and Keepa. So if something needs to grab my attention about IP, it's going to be IP alert. I don't really look at the SellerAmp. I'm not saying it's inaccurate or anything. I don't know. I've just never used it. Do you have a Philippines VA doing the buying? No, my buyer is US based. Some people do the Philippines virtual assistant, and that is an option. And on my program, we'll talk about different ways for like letting them pay, letting them access websites, and all that. But for me personally, I have a US based buyer. Steve the Remnant, what's up? How can I network with top selling sellers when I'm not at that level yet? How could I offer value? Good question. Networking is huge, and especially you might not be like that top seller yet, but if you can get to a point where you can talk to them, then that's huge. So, a lot of these big sellers are on Instagram. They're posting stories, they're making content. You should, be aggressively sliding up on those stories, commenting on their posts, and just trying to talk to them any way you can. And most of the community will talk to you. And you asked how you can provide value. What are some things that you can offer them? Maybe you find a really good lead that you want to share with them. I just found a lead yesterday that was an A to A flip, and I shared it with a few people. And I'm not a big A to A guy. I might get some of those, but for the most part, I was just sharing it with other people for the networking aspect. So there's always something that you can provide, and you'll know what that is. What are you really good at? Do you know how to, use cash back or stack credit card points or all these little intricacies? And then tell that top seller what you can offer them and just shoot that message over to them. Kevin says, "What VPN do your VAs use?" So they use private internet access or NordVPN. Most of them use private internet access, but a couple of them just because I think private internet access only allowed so many people. A couple of them just use my NordVPN account. What's the difference between Seller Board and Inventory Lab? Is there a difference? So I think they have a lot of similar features. Inventory Lab, we used for listing, creating the shipments. I don't know if Seller Board does that. I don't think it does off the top of my head. I think they both have accounting features. We use Inventory Lab for that. Seller Board we use for looking at restocks, and it has like a restock suggestion area. Inventory Lab added that a couple months ago, but we haven't tried it out yet. But you have to pay extra on Inventory Lab. So, I mean, it ends up being around the same price anyway. So they have similarities, but also differences. Saul said, "Do you use all your Amex points for traveling?" So yeah, I use Amex points for travel. I also use Capital One points for travel. But I recently have been taking my Amex points and transferring those out to a Charles Schwab brokerage because it's a 1.1x multiple. So let's say like I have 100,000 points with American Express. I can transfer that to Charles Schwab brokerage for $1,100. Once it's in the brokerage account, I can then withdraw it as cash. So it's a way for me to convert my Amex points to cash and if I just had a few 100,000, I'd probably just use them for travel, but, like, I'm getting millions of points per year. I don't think I could possibly travel that much, so I'm just starting to take it out as cash. That's the name of the VPN, Kevin. It's called Private Internet Access. Look it up. It's fairly cheap and it's, worthwhile. What is your favorite sourcing method? Probably storefront stalking. I mean, that's the one that I used the most whenever I was doing product research. I really like website sales too, but probably storefront stalking. I would say that's the one I'm most comfortable with. What form of payment do you use for Rakuten? So that goes back to what I was just saying. We take it as Amex points, and the reason for that is because we can withdraw it as Amex points and then transfer it to Charles Schwab at a 1.1x multiple. So let's say Nike has 10% back with Rakuten, you're actually getting 11% because you're taking it as Amex points, sending it to Charles Schwab, increasing it by 10%. So that 10% becomes 11%. Seems like you track a lot of data. What data points have been most helpful? So, like, I can say, like, the general ones, like, anything that's on Keepa. As far as, like, overall structuring, though, I would say our KPI data is really important. So my manager once a week, compiles a list of basically data based on how each product researcher performed that week, and it shows us how many leads they found, how many were buy-worthy, how many they found on average per day, how many were a mismatch, how many were low profit. So it helps us see all the different kinds of errors that they might be making or things that they're doing really good as well. Steve says, "Do you prefer manual sourcing or tactical arbitrage slash source mobile?" All manual. We don't do any kind of software. It's everything is manual. Obviously, we use Keepa, RevSeller, SellerAmp to help speed things up, but we are actually manually doing all the product research. We don't use anything like TA or Source Mobile. I've actually never even tried Source Mobile. I used to have a TA account, but we don't use it anymore. What's up, Sniper King, Axel, Thiago? What's up, guys? If you want to pop over on YouTube, we're doing a Q&A live stream there as well. Kevin says, "Do you need a Schwab credit card?" Yes. So I think I don't think I've done a video. I've done a reel on Instagram. I don't think I've done a YouTube video on it. But yes, you do need to have the Charles Schwab Platinum card. This is the only card that lets you do what I'm talking about. It's a big fee. It's $695 a year, but a lot of sellers get the regular Platinum card anyway. You could just get this one. I think it gives all the same benefits, except it also lets you transfer Amex points to a brokerage account. So that's the one that you need to use. What categories do you focus on the most? Says Mojo Media. All of them. So any category, if it's profitable, we'll sell it. I would say we find a lot in the beauty, which I'm saying it's more or less beauty nowadays since we've been getting restricted product policy violations. But we find a decent amount of beauty, shoes, clothing, health and household, a little bit of grocery, not a ton, some toys as well. But all the categories, anything that's profitable. Do you use a prep center or are you doing all of your prep? So almost all of my stuff goes to a prep center, and then I have a backup prep center as well. And then some stuff comes to my house, just mainly if it's cheap single sticker prep. If I if it makes sense, I'll send it to my house. But I would say 95+% of my inventory goes to one of my prep centers. Yeah, appreciate you stopping by. And like Kevin says, if you're enjoying this, smash the like button. And if you guys are not already subscribed, I would appreciate if you could subscribe. It's free and really helps me out. And then also turn on notification bells so you don't miss any of my live streams. Yo, Miles, what's up? Got those blue light glasses. King Flips, always dropping gems. Let's go. Elchel Resells, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Do you recommend any trustworthy prep centers? So most of the good ones, especially the ones that are in tax-free states, are going to be full. I would recommend getting on wait lists for Network Prep, Heroic Prep. Those are generally pretty good ones, but I think they all have at least 500 units minimum. I think Heroic's actually up to 1,000. So you're going to need to be pushing some kind of volume to get in with them, but it doesn't hurt to open up that conversation and get on their wait list. Can you hook me up with your prep center? Unfortunately, no, I cannot. They're absolutely full. Any recommendations for finding wholesalers? Go do some research, compile a list of 100 distributors that you can contact, and then go contact them. It's a numbers game. You're going to call 100 people and open up a few accounts. And of those few accounts, a few are going to be good. So it's definitely just numbers and compiling the list and then making phone calls and emailing. Phone calls preferred. How do I find you on social media? I am at Logan Altenberger on all platforms except Twitter. I think I'm at L_Altenberger because Logan Altenberger was too long of a handle. So yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram. I've been posting on TikTok recently as well, and then obviously on YouTube because that's where you're watching here. What's up, Humber Mary? Seymour and Duff, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. People on Instagram, we're over on YouTube as well if you want to pop over there. Hey, what's up? All right, thanks for stopping by. Rodrigo. What other questions we got? I'll go for 5 to 10 more minutes. So if you have any more questions, go ahead and drop those down and I'll be sure to get those answered for you. Everybody hit their spin goals today. We talked about it briefly at the beginning. Shout out Kick Central. He said that his spin goal has been 500 to 650 bucks, but this past week he's been spending 1K a day, so we love to see that. All boils down to spending more on inventory. Adriana USA, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. All right, we see Kevin R here on YouTube says, if prep centers are full, what do you think of me hiring someone and pay them per item like a prep center? It's interesting. It's a way you could do it. Some people, or I know of some people that have done that. Whenever I had people working for me doing prep, I always just paid them hourly. You could structure it as a per unit depending on how they work or what they're motivated by. I always thought it was just simpler to just pay them per hour, but whatever works better for you. I would recommend whatever you do though, you need to outsource that prep if that's what's holding you back from growing. Because like I just said, you need to be spending more money, and if you're having to spend time prepping, which is a really low ROI task, you can outsource it for depending where you are 12 to 15 bucks an hour, and your time is worth more than that if you're spending it on profitable inventory. So yeah, prep centers are full. You can hire people yourself, and there's a couple different ways that you can structure that. Axel over on Instagram said, "When will you have new spots available for the leads?" So let me check. I think we might have one right now. No, we are full. So we'll have, I think, one more spot opening up this month. So I would just be checking the website daily. But sometime next month, we'll be opening up a third list. It'll be capped at 10 people, and it'll probably cost around $300 a month. So depending on your budget, that's another option. But the Wolf list with it, which is 180 a month, will be opening up, I think, one spot before the end of the month. So just check that daily. If you want to know the exact date it opens up, shoot me a DM on Discord or Instagram after this, and I can check. Prices on all the lists will be going up at the end of the month, but it won't affect current subscribers. So if you're able to get into that 180 a month price, you're locked in for as long as you're a subscriber. Steve the Remnant on on YouTube said, "How did you find the best stores to storefront stock?" So there's a few different methods that we use. One, I'll link a video here that you can check out afterwards. But one is we look at an item that we're selling really well, and then we go look at who else is selling this product well. So we're looking at the buy box statistics and seeing who else is capturing some buy box share here. If they're selling this product well, they're probably selling other products well too. So then we're going to go and storefront stock them. The other method I like to use is just starting from store branded products like a Great Value or Mainstays or anything that I know is store branded. That way I know they're doing arbitrage in order to source those products. And I'm going to go ahead and grab you a link to a video that I made going over this so that you can go and watch it whenever this live stream ends here in just a few minutes. And here you go. So there's a link to a video I made all about storefront stocking, so you can check that out. Kick Central said, "Will the new list be better than the line list?" It'll be the same stats and capped at the same 10 people. It's just going to be a higher price because the line list price and the wolf list price are going up anyway. So the same exact stats, just a tad higher price. And it's actually the same as the wolf list in terms of the stats, just the wolf list is capped at 15 instead of 10. Yep, no problem, Axel. All right, going for about 2 more minutes. So any final questions, go ahead and drop those. Any tips on getting I don't know of any distributors off the top of my head, but sorry, I think I just glitched out there for a second. I don't know of any distributors for Hoka, but a lot of people have been having success with just retailer receipts lately. So you could try, just submitting a receipt and see if it works. There's no guarantees because that's not what Amazon actually wants, but I have been hearing from a lot of people that it's been working. Ungated, yeah. Got an animal name yet? We're still brainstorming. I think the last suggested to me was like eagle or hawk, something like that. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Burke sells, what's up? How do you know what sites cancel orders? Just a matter of trial and error. Yeah, so a couple things. One, it is just trial and error, and we have a spreadsheet where we know the site's going to cancel. This site we have to jig our address. This site we have to use our catch-all email. This site we have to use this credit card. This site we can't use PayPal. It's just trial and error, and then collecting that data so that you know whenever you go back to that site, your product research team or your buyer can check if there's anything special they need to do. Another thing we do is we use a tool called OA Buddy. It's like 250 bucks for lifetime access, super worth it. And they have their own database where it's a Chrome extension. Let's say we are just talking about Hoka. Let's say you're on Hoka.com. You activate the OA Buddy Chrome extension and it'll tell you this site will only let you buy 5 units. This site will only let you place 2 orders a day. And it just gives you all the info there right on the source page, which can be super helpful as well. Do you have VAs do the purchasing? No, my buyer is US based. My VAs do the product research, and then another VA does the reviewing and enters the want quantity. And then my buyer goes in every day and just buys whatever the want quantity is for those products. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here on Instagram. I'll go a few minutes longer on YouTube. So if you guys want to keep this going from Instagram, hop on over to YouTube. It's just Logan Altberger is my name on YouTube, and yeah. And if you have more questions from Instagram, just go ahead and hop over to YouTube, and we'll be going there for a few more minutes. Peace. All right, YouTube, we're gonna go a few more minutes. Kevin said, after you prove a test buy, how do you then place a large second order? Often website limitations. So yeah, it's like I just said, following the rules for whatever we need. So like, let's say we want to get 20 units, but the site won't let us get more than 5. Then we're going to place 4 orders. Maybe we can't place more than 2 orders in a day. So then we're just going to have to place 2 orders of 5 in one day, 2 orders of 5 the next day. So, just following whatever the rules are to make sure that we got to get it done. What's your average want quantity? So my initial test orders are generally small, like 3 to 5. Maybe if it's a good mover, up to 8 to 10 units, but generally smaller than that. And then we're just expanding from there. So on our restocks, we'll just kind of go based on how fast that initial sell through was, and then increase the want quantity. Sometimes we'll go more, but generally it is a pretty small test order. I would say average is probably like 4. We got any more questions? I'll give it one more minute if you guys have any final questions. Otherwise, I will go ahead and wrap this up. If you didn't see it, I dropped a new video today going over product criteria, what we look for in my business, general rules that you can follow, and then I also analyzed 5 different products. So I'll go ahead and grab that link if anyone wants to check it out after this. And again, if you're not already, I would appreciate a subscribe. It's free and helps me out. There's that link. All right, looks like we had a couple final questions. How many different leads do you buy a day on average? I would guess around 40-ish. Just kind of depends on the day, but I'd say around 40 is our average right now. I think that is going to increase probably to more like 60 though in a few weeks because we just hired 4 more product researchers. So yeah, probably it'll be more like the 60 to 65 range. What is your go-to outlet for items that don't sell on Amazon? So we use Mercari for liquidations, sometimes Facebook like local sales, but generally Mercari is our liquidator. I haven't used it in a while though, because it's easier in my opinion, not more profitable, not the best way, but it's easier to just liquidate through Amazon. And it's pretty rare anyway, since we're looking at all the data that we need. We don't often have items that don't sell. But when they do happen, we have those liquidation options. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Go check out that video that I linked below if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching. If you need anything else, feel free to DM me on Instagram. Peace out. Have a good night.